So welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Nidhi Shastri, and today's video is going to be about the various menstrual products and the disadvantages of each, and when it comes to menstrual cups, even the demonstration of how to wear them. So in this video, I'll be covering 3 commonly used menstrual products. The first one is a sanitary pad, and I'll also be mentioning about reusable pads. The second product is a tampon, and the third product is a menstrual cup. So starting with the sanitary pad, this of course is the most commonly used menstrual product, and till today it is the most preferred menstrual product, at least in our country, and there are reasons as to why it is that way. So I'll be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of sanitary pads first. The first advantage of a sanitary pad is it is so easy to carry. You can just keep it in a pouch, in your handbag, in your school bag, and it is much more simpler to carry and does not require any sterilization to be done to the pad beforehand. Second, it is also very easily available. When I say easily available, I don't just mean in the pharmacies, I also mean the people around us. So be it a student, a fellow student in your school, or a colleague in your workplace, everyone carries a sanitary pad. Most of them carry a sanitary pad for emergencies. So it's also very easily available in case you don't have one. The third is it is so simple to use because all you have to do is stick the adhesive part to the panties and that's it. So the mode of usage is very easy, and that is why it is so much preferred. The advantage is of course that you will come to know very easily when the pad is filled, and then you can change the pad accordingly, which is not possible in case of tampons and menstrual cups, where you have to use your judgment, or it's a very subjective feeling, whereas when you use a pad, it's very evident that the pad has been filled up. And last but not the least, it is actually the first product that is introduced to us when we get our period, at the age of 12 or 13 years, and there is a level of comfort that's built up over so many years. So it's not easy for us to directly just change our menstrual product to something else, and especially if we do not know the correct usage and we do not know of how beneficial it would be to us over a pad. So that's why I'll be speaking about them as well. But yeah, the comfort and the ease is what makes this stand out. Now coming to the disadvantages, I'll be talking about disadvantages to the person using them first. The first disadvantage is the fact that it can cause mild to very severe rashes in some people after 1 or 2 days of use. The second disadvantage is the fact that it leaves a very bad odor because the menstrual blood is collected in the pad. What happens is when it's exposed to air, it creates a very bad odor. So that's something which not many women prefer. The third disadvantage is the fact that if you are traveling to a place which has water bodies, like say a river or the beach, or if you are a regular swimmer, this can get very difficult because you cannot enter the water bodies wearing a pad. Whereas when it comes to tampons and menstrual cups, you can still continue using them while you are going into a water body. The next disadvantage I'll be talking about, and this is especially for the single use or the disposable sanitary pads, is the fact that they are not environment friendly. These are made of non-biodegradable products and they are not recyclable. So imagine the amount of pads that have been compiling over the last so many decades and the amount of hazard it is to the environment. But if you are someone who is not comfortable with the idea of a tampon or a menstrual cup and would want to stick to pads but are of course very aware of the environment, so what you can probably do is also use the reusable cotton pads. They are available online, and they can be washed and reused, even up to 40 to 60 washes depending on the brand and depending on their capacity. So probably you can opt for those. I haven't personally used them, but in case someone who's watching the video has, please do leave your reviews down in the comment section. But yeah, this is the second product that you can use if you do not wish to add some more waste to the environment. The next product is a tampon. So this small little product is either made of cotton or viscose, or sometimes even a blend depending on company to company. So how this tampon works is that you need to insert this into your vagina it can come with an applicator or without an applicator as well. The most commonly found tampons online or even in pharmacies are without the applicators, but again that depends on where you're located and what access you have. This is one without the applicator. So basically you just twist the plastic off, and you have to ensure that your hands are extremely clean. You've washed your hands before, and once you do that and maintaining all the sterile precautions, you will insert this into the vagina, and then there is a thread which will hang out once the plastic has come off. This thread will help when you need to take out your tampon from the vagina. Now you might think that this is a very small size and how would this soak in so much blood. So tampons come in various sizes depending on the flow. So if you are someone who has very heavy flow, then you can purchase that size, but they are not going to be extremely huge. So this is what a standard size tampon for a normal regular flow looks like. So once you have inserted this into your vagina deeply, it will swell because it will start absorbing the menstrual fluid. So this is not going to be of the same size, and once it has filled, you will come to know, because there will be a sense, a subjective sense of course, that this has filled up, and there could even be some spotting externally, and you will realize that you've started spotting again outside of the vagina. So maybe this is full and it's time to change the tampon, and then you need to hold the thread that'll be coming out and then take it off. The process of both inserting and removing it is very, very simple, but a few important points. The first point is that you can use a tampon for only 4 to 8 hours. Ideally 4 to 6 hours is what I would suggest, and obviously it will also depend on how much you're bleeding. If you are bleeding a lot, then probably you need to even change it every 2 to 3 hours. But remember to never leave it for more than 8 hours, as it can increase the risk of toxic shock syndrome. The second thing is that these are disposable and cannot be used again. So once used, remember to dispose them off immediately, and you cannot wash them or just rinse them off. That is not possible, and you can only use one tampon at a time. Now the advantages of these are, again, look at the size. It is so easy to carry. You can carry it in a small purse, in a small wallet, wherever possible, and these have also started to become available at pharmacies also now. Earlier, back in the day, they were only available online or on sites like Amazon and Nykaa, but they have started to become more available in pharmacies as well. Another advantage is that it does not need any sterilization procedure like menstrual cups require. So even if it's an emergency situation, you can easily use them. But do remember that you need to wash your hands extremely well before you insert this, because of two reasons. Of course, you do not want to insert this with your contaminated hands and increase risk of infections. And secondly, even if you've eaten a food item, and it's very common that sometimes we are so unaware that if we do get our period suddenly, we'll just rush to the washroom and insert this. And again, because you are going to be inserting this into your vagina, and if your fingers are if you've just eaten with your hands, and if there was food, if there was any type of masala, it's going to cause a lot of irritation. So please keep that in mind as well. Talking about the disadvantages, it does require a little bit of time and a little bit of experience before it gets easy, unlike sanitary pads. So some people might get uncomfortable for using them. The second disadvantage is the fact that you have to keep changing them so frequently, and you cannot just afford to forget changing it after 6 to 8 hours, because as I mentioned, the risk of toxic shock syndrome, even though it's rare, it is still a very fatal disease. So you need to keep that in mind every time you're using. Does that mean that it is not a safe product? Not at all. It's an extremely safe product, but you need to remember when to take it off correctly. So that is a disadvantage, as most people can get busy or completely forget about this, especially later on your 4th or 5th day when the bleeding is not as much. Next disadvantage is that you still need to keep buying it frequently, and especially if your period is just 2 to 3 days away and you stay in a place where the pharmacies don't have tampons, then you will probably need to go back to sanitary pads. So the availability is a little bit of an issue, but again, lot of pharmacies have now started keeping tampons with them. So I'm hoping that the availability keeps increasing more with time. And now coming to the most controversial menstrual product, and something that people have so many myths about, is a menstrual cup. So these are either made of medical grade silicone or even sometimes rubber. These ones are made of medical grade silicone, and basically what it has is a cup and it has a stem. This stem helps both when you have to insert the cup and while you have to remove the cup. So how this works is that you need to insert the cup into the vagina, and in the vaginal canal it will form a seal. So it is not going to be possible for it to just drop down or something. There'll be a seal and the menstrual blood will get collected in this cup. After that, it's going to stay there. Once this has reached its full, you will understand that the cup is full. Again, as I said, it's a subjective feeling, and also of course you will start bleeding out. That's when you know that it's time to change. Ideally, you should change this within 6 to 12 hours depending on the flow. And the menstrual cups can actually be used for anywhere between 6 months to 10 years as well, depending on the shelf life from company to company. The company from where I buy my menstrual cups have a shelf life of 5 years. They'll be showing a demonstration of how to insert this and take it off soon. But before that, coming to the advantages and disadvantages of using menstrual cups. So the first advantage is because these are reusable. You do not have to take the whole stress of having to buy these again and again. The second is the fact that they are so convenient throughout the day. You don't even come to know that there is a menstrual product inside your body, literally, and you just feel so comfortable. Once you learn the correct technique of using them, it is so comfortable to use. And I'm pretty sure that all the women would agree that while we are on a period, there is so much of irritation, there is so much of symptoms that we go through. Rashes and feeling uncomfortable is the last thing we would want on our period, and the menstrual cup helps with just that. Advantage is the fact that it is environment friendly. Third advantage is that because it can protect even up to 12 hours on day when there is not too much heavy bleeding. You don't need to so frequently change it. But it does have some disadvantages also. So the first disadvantage is the fact that it is not accessible to everyone, especially if they do not have access to online services. So it's not like it's kept in every pharmacy, and hence that becomes an issue. The second is that people are very scared of using them because of the mode of insertion and the fear that maybe the vaginal cup will get lost up in the vagina canal, which is not possible, of course. The third disadvantage is that you need to sterilize these before use, and that is why you cannot use this in terms of emergencies. You can only use it once you have sterilized the cup, maybe once you're back in your house. So now I'll be demonstrating of how to insert a tampon and how to take it off, and I'm using this bottle here for reference, and I filled it with a little bit of water so you understand how this exactly works. So coming to the cup, this is how it is. It is very easily foldable, very flexible, and there are different folds that you can do. There's a 7-fold and there's a U fold, and there are multiple folds, but I'm going to speak about one fold which I find super easy to insert with. So take your finger and put it inside this way, and then cross this over. So if you see, this is how narrow the cup has now become. Now because I've been using these for many years, I just directly insert the cup inside. But of course, in the start, if you need to lubricate it, then you can probably use some form of lubrication, for example Vaseline, and then insert it so that there is an ease of insertion. But of course, that depends on individual to individual. So again, as I said, I'll be using this bottle for demonstration, and this cup, I'm just going to show the fold once again. This is the cup. You're going to do this. Again, this is a method that I use. You can probably, use some other method if that's convenient. But yeah, you do this, and then you fold this over, cross this over, and this narrow part is what will go inside. Assuming this is the vaginal canal, you're going to take the cup and insert it inside. You're not going to release the cup till the cup is completely inside the canal, and then you release it. this is what happens. There is a seal formed. Sometimes there is a little bit of a gap between the cup and the vaginal canal. So what you can do is take your finger and just move it along the rim of the cup, and it will get sealed on its own. And now it's time to test if the water leaks out. So if you just saw, there's no leakage because there is such a tight seal formed. And of course, there's a lot of water. The menstrual blood that is collected, there'll be no excess blood in our canal which will just drain off when we're taking off our cup like a waterfall. Probably that's not what will happen. So of course, how these both work are very different that way. So there'll be just about 20 to 25 ml of blood that will be collected in this cup, and this cup has the capacity to collect that amount of blood as well. So once this cup is full, what you will do is you will release the cup outside slowly, gradually. Now coming to how you will remove it after it has been filled with the blood. Now you're going to hold the stem with one finger, and with the second finger you're going to break the seal inside. Now sometimes there's a possibility that the cup would have ascended a little more when you're asleep and you wake up the next day. So all you have to do is, first, don't panic, and second, you just have to contract your vaginal muscles a little so that the cup will naturally descend and you will be able to feel the stem again. Once you do that, hold this and take your finger, insert it inside and break the seal this way. So you're going to break the seal this way. Let the cup stay folded. Please do not release the cup, and then take it out and then you release it. Few mistakes that women make, and probably some that even I made when I was in my learning stages, was first, not folding the cup properly. So if this is your vaginal canal, taking this and inserting it directly is of course going to be extremely tough. The second mistake that women make is releasing the cup even before it has gotten inserted completely. Again, I'll show you what it means. Let's say you have folded your cup. You have taken it inside and you've released it. If you see it's coming out and causing a lot of pain to you because it's opened up and hurt your vaginal walls, and that is a grave error, and a lot of women end up making it because we are in such hurry and so much of anxiety to be wanting to insert it properly, is that we release the cup even before it's gotten deeply inside. So if you do this and open it, this is how it's gonna hurt. So remember to not do that. Only and only release the cup once it's completely inside and the vacuum has been created, this way. The third mistake that women make is trying to remove the cup out with the wrong methods. The first one is to just remove it. People think that they could just pull this off like this and it will come out easily. No, even with the lubrication present inside, it is not so easy for the cup to come outside. You will need to break the seal to get it outside. If you try to pull it out just like that, it is going to cause tremendous pain. And again, when you are removing it out, you need to slowly remove it and not release the cup while it is still in the canal, because if you do, I'm just going to show you an example of that. If you release it beforehand and then try to remove it, again, it's going to cause a lot of pain. So remember, firstly, never try to insert the cup without folding it properly. And even when you fold the cup, remember to start inserting from the narrowest end of the cup first. Second, please do not release the cup before you have inserted the cup completely inside, and similarly do not release the cup till you have taken it completely outside. And again, do not do it in a rush because there will be a chance of the blood just splashing around everywhere. So instead, take it out very gently, release the cup very gently so that the blood stays collected inside the cup. Now coming to the aseptic precautions that you need to take. The first is sterilization of the menstrual cup. You need to sterilize the menstrual cup before you begin to use it in the current cycle. So you can use a sterilizer for these. I'm just going to show how it looks. And secondly, do remember to wash your hands very, very well before inserting the cup and while taking off the cup as well. And also do wash the cup after each use. When you dispose of the blood, do remember to clean the cup extremely well with good clean water. And I also would recommend you to sterilize the cup after the second day also, even though most recommendations don't say so. There is no harm in sterilizing it after the second day. This will just give you added protection is what I feel. But yes, when you're using a cup, please do take care of maintaining aseptic precautions very well. And with that, we come towards the end of the video. To summarize it, we spoke about sanitary pads, we also spoke about reusable cotton pads, then we spoke about tampons, and of course, last but not the least, we spoke about menstrual cups and how to insert them and remove them in a way that it would not cause discomfort or pain to you. So I really hope that you found this video useful, and if you have any comments or any doubts or even any reviews to share, then please drop down in the comment section below. And if you found this video helpful, then do not forget to like, share and subscribe.